you're one of the thousands of college students who don't attend church, could Kanye West change your mind? Do you get a lot of likes on Instagram? A new Instagram rule may change that.
I hope that it kind of becomes less of a comparison trap and more of just authenticity.
This is Northeast Georgia's only local source for TV news. From the Grady College at the University of Georgia, this is Grady Newsource.
Hello and welcome to Grady Newsource. I'm Katie Kim. Those stories coming up, but first, our top story tonight. The Athens-Clarke County Police Department released the body cam footage of the most recent officer-involved shooting on October 26th.
Every time that we take another person's life, I don't consider that a success, be it justified or not. It's a failure because we, weren't able to save a person's life.
The man who was shot, Nan Zhao, later died in the hospital. The GBI will continue its independent investigation of the October 26th shooting. Once complete, it will be turned over to the Western Judicial Circuit District Attorney for review. Around the world, young adults are becoming less religious. According to the Pew Research Center, 2/3 of college students seldom or never go to church. But pop culture icon and rapper Kanye West is in the mix now. Grady Newsource reporter Francisco Guzman decided to take a look at whether Kanye's church/gospel music sessions around the nation will bring people back to the church. He joins me now. Francisco, I understand you've actually attended one of these events.
Yes, Katie, I did. It was on September 15th at New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Lithonia. There were about 8,000 people of all ages and backgrounds at the service. Kanye didn't announce that he was going to be in Lithonia, but people still found out. This is the scene in Lithonia. It seems like Kanye has the power to get young adults to church. Minister of Outreach and Worship at Christian Campus Fellowship, Brian Wallace, agrees.
Yeah, I mean, it's freaking Kanye West. Like, who wouldn't? Like, plenty of people who aren't Christians would go see it just because it's Kanye West.
But would people go to Kanye's church to get closer to God, or because it's Kanye? UGA student Denise DeBon said either way, getting people to go to church is always a positive.
He really could bring more people into getting closer to God.
Throughout his new album, Jesus is King, Kanye sings and raps about God.
I think it's cool that he's able to express his passions and show them in a way that reaches a lot of people.
Reaching younger adults in a unique way is what Wallace says is what makes Sunday service awesome.
That kind of pop-up way is what, our generation, younger generations kind of like. We're not so huge for the big traditional church that you go to the same place every Sunday. So, hey, if that's what works, that's awesome.
Francisco Guzman, Grady Newsource.
Francisco reached out to Joel Osteen's Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas, and they confirmed Kanye is scheduled to bring his church experience to Lakewood this Sunday. Watching this newscast and scrolling through its Instagram feed right now, this might be the last day your feed looks this way. Grady Newsource reporter Caroline Greger joins me now to explain the changes. Caroline?
Katie, starting tomorrow, Instagram is going to be testing out hiding the like count for some of its users here in the United States. And the big test is, how much do we care about being liked on social media? I talked to an Instagram influencer and a PR specialist about what they expect with the change.
It's kind of like comparing social standing. It's helpful if other people can see that a post performed really well, and then you don't have to work so hard to say, hey, this is really good and this is why.
Since Instagram's start back in 2010, to like things has a different meaning. Every time someone double taps a post or clicks the heart below a post, this person is added to the like count of that picture or video. Starting tomorrow, some users will no longer be able to see the like count. Dane Young thinks it may have a positive impact.
I hope that it kind of becomes less of a comparison trap and more of just authenticity.
Others who run Instagram accounts agree. Lily Beck runs the Instagram account for the Red and Black student-run newspaper. She says that taking away like counts will change the way users feel about the posts they see.
For an audience perspective, I think it could be beneficial because they're going to be able to kind of differentiate what content they deem as more important to them.
For Instagram influencers, not seeing like counts on pictures may be more important.
It's definitely going to be interesting. It's kind of uncharted territory.
Influencer Lottie Smalley predicts that the hidden likes will change the way brands choose to partner with influencers.
I could see brands requesting those kind of like analytic reports before securing a partnership.
But this could create further problems for brands wanting to advertise through influencers.
Because these influencers are the only ones with access to their analytics, they could easily Photoshop their analytics.
Whether you're concerned with likes or not, Instagram will continue to allow sharing content that you like with friends.
I hope it kind of makes people take a step back to say, I'm going to post this because I want to post this, not because other people want me to post this.
Caroline Greger, Grady Newsource.
The hidden like count will go into effect tomorrow for some users in the US as a test to see how the change affects usership. If you're used in the test, you'll see a message when you open the Instagram app notifying that you won't be seeing like counts. Disney Plus has taken the streaming service by storm, adding 10 million people to its subscription list since Tuesday. With streaming services becoming the common way we watch our favorite shows and movies. Grady Newsource reporter Eric Solorzano joins me now to show you how the streaming industry has and will continue to change the way you live.
That's right, Katie. If you subscribe to Netflix, HBO, Amazon Prime, Hulu, and the new Disney Plus, all of these streaming services could have you paying more than $700 plus per year.
I subscribe to Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime, and then I watch just like random YouTube videos.
Second-year University of Georgia student Lauren Effridge has, like many of us, allowed streaming to become a major part of our lives. And as an industry expected to be worth over $83 billion by 2022, streaming services like the new Disney version Disney Plus are making big moves.
And you'll have to subscribe to all these services if you want to keep watching Seinfeld, which will soon be on Netflix, and Marvel's The Avengers on Disney Plus.
At the top of the most popular streaming services is Netflix, which can cost up to $16 per month, HBO at $15, Hulu up to $12, Disney at $7, and the list goes on and on.
I just have Netflix. I occasionally use Hulu for my friends' accounts and stuff, but I only have Netflix.
Disney Plus won't be the last of streaming services to come out, and this will force many people to expand their horizons and their budgets.
I can convince my parents to subscribe, but my goal would be probably to find someone else's login to share it.
Eric Solorzano, Grady Newsource.
If you'd like to learn more about streaming services and how it became a billion-dollar industry, check out our House of Mouse digital article on our website at gradynewsource.com. Your dog may know how to sit, roll over, and fetch, but does your dog know how to throw away trash? Or how about fetch your keys? Or get this, provide deep pressure therapy. I know, it's a lot, but I met a service dog that knows all of these commands and about 80 more. Meet Scorpio.
Speak.
An obedient service dog.
Don't you?
And a loving owner. Two best friends, literally inseparable. So much so that Tyler Burrell simply can't imagine a life without Scorpio.
I can't even picture it because he has become just an extension of myself.
From simple tasks such as throwing away trash,
throw it away,
to even providing deep pressure therapy, Scorpio is there.
He's essentially like a living, breathing, weighted heating pad.
Burrell has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, a rare genetic connective tissue disorder that causes frequent joint dislocations, chronic fatigue, and chronic pain. But that hasn't stopped her from having a happy and productive life, thanks to her loyal companion.
That motivation, that positivity, it's hard to be upset when I look down and see his goofy smiling face, looking up at me.
A smile on his face and a harness on his back, which helps with Burrell's balance.
She almost never has to use her wheelchair anymore, which is really, really big. There was a point in time where she couldn't get to class without her wheelchair.
And one of Scorpio's best traits? His tail, which he isn't afraid to show off.
See? he's sexy and he knows it, okay? He checks himself out in the mirror.
Despite his good looks, at the end of the day, he's more than a furry friend and a student on campus.
He becomes something of like an unofficial mascot for every class we're in. Like, it's just Scorpio.
Katie Kim, Grady Newsource. You've probably seen a fair number of cat videos at some point in your life, but now it's time to give dog videos some attention. Check out our videos on our Grady Newsource Instagram page and YouTube channel to see Scorpio show off some of his other skills. Approximately 350,000 American women joined the military during World War II. They worked as nurses, drove trucks, repaired airplanes, and performed clerical work, all during a time when those roles were not typical for women. Grady Newsource reporter Alex Rios joins me now to introduce you to a 94-year-old woman who remembers her, quote, wartime woman's work with pride.
Katie, I met Lori Hires Monday night at a screening movie called Golden Isles at War. The movie was about building of the Liberty ships in Brunswick, Georgia, and how women took part.
And start the baby boom generation. Because of the closing of the shipyards, there was an abundance of highly skilled welders in Brunswick, which made it a very attractive.
Well, it was better pay, and we felt like that we were doing our country a great service.
Incorporated into the U.S. Air Force as its civilian auxiliary, and continues to this day.
And we're doing what they had to do, so we felt like we were taking their place. I have been so blessed. The Lord has been so good to our family.
Almost 25% more women are working today than they were in 1944. That's according to the U.S. Department of Labor. The number has risen from 32.7% in 1948 to 56.8% in 2016. Up next, food waste is killing our planet. Tara Brawley is looking at ways that UGA is trying to make its campus more sustainable.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
Love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Environmentalism isn't just something we're looking at from a national point of view. There are steps you and I can take to help. That's why the University of Georgia Office of Sustainability is currently focused on how to develop more sustainable food systems. Grady Newsource reporter Tara Brawley is here with me now. Tara, what made you decide to look into the story now? Well, I know the University of Georgia is a research-based institution, so I figured they must be doing something to be more environmentally conscious as an institution and as a community in Athens. And they are. Ho, hey, hey! Ho, ho! Climate change has got to go, hey! We see the protests. We hear activists like Greta Thunberg advocate for change. And now we can witness change happening here at the University of Georgia.
Sustainability is the way that we are going to get to a future we all want to live in.
The current focus at the university is on a food shed project. That's where they'll work to develop sustainable food systems, look at food production, food access, and food waste.
And then we have Green Roof Garden, and we've got U Garden, and we have Campus Kitchen that is collecting food that would have been wasted and redistributing it in the community.
At the Food Shed Fall Forum, attendees ate sustainable vegetarian and vegan food, which according to Jean Bauer is an important way to help the environment.
If we really wanted to save the planet, one of the best things each of us can do is to eat plants instead of animals. It's good for the animals, it's good for our health, it's good for the planet, makes all the sense in the world.
Local Athens farmers, business managers, and others share how they make sustainable choices in their field and educate others on how to do the same. We all know that this helps with the environment, but according to Rasha Malcolm with Rasha's Cuisine and Culinary Kitchen, it also helps to support local farmers markets. And according to Mason Tao with the Athens-Clarke County Recycling Division, composting is the next step to minimize waste.
It doesn't just help with the food waste, it helps with the recycling too, because if there's not food in the recycling, that's better recycling.
Tara Brawley, Grady Newsource. If you want to learn more about solutions to our changing climate, 1 week from today, the UGA Office of Sustainability will host UGA Climate Reality. There will be presentations and a panel discussion from 4 to 6:30 at 225 West Broad Street.
I'm Carly Reese with sports. Today we'll be taking a look at playoff rankings, locker room tension, and the possibility of a video game's return.
Hello.
Hi, I'm from Blue Hood Stone Barns. We brought a meal for you and I'm here to serve it to you.
Okay, great. Come in.
Zucchini carbonara, made from zucchini that was harvested earlier this morning.
Again?
Hey, Dan Barber.
You have room for a little bit more?
Come
on in.
Brochettes with sausage. So when we made that zucchini carbonara, you know, they're the end pieces of the zucchini and they're the cores that we cut away. Not to mention zucchini flour. Usually those get thrown out. We use them to create an entire second dish. Does that, oh.
Again?
I'm here to bring you your third course. It's the vines from your zucchini.
We'll have a little zucchini stem pasta. A different experience of zucchini. When we start to think differently about our food, we can get a lot more out of it.
This is delicious.
What do you think we can make out of this? 40% of food in America is never eaten. Cook it, store it, share it. Visit SaveTheFood.com.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation.
America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Laughing too hard at one of your colleagues' jokes at the office party? He's not even funny. Warning sign, those drinks are probably going to your head. Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
And now, sports.
So college football rankings came out and Georgia managed to squeeze into the top 4. I'm Carly Reese. Joined with me is Kat Hendrick. Kat, you felt pretty strongly on Tuesday that Georgia wasn't going to make it into the top 4.
I did. I really did. And now I kind of have my foot in my mouth. But I was going based off of precedent. I think the last time that we had one of these big conversations about whether or not Georgia was going to make a top 4, it was last year with the playoffs, and they decided not to because, in my opinion, the committee weighed the losses that Georgia had over the wins that they had. So that's what I was assuming was going to happen, but clearly not.
So is that why you think Georgia was placed in the 4th spot instead of Alabama?
Yeah, I think that it probably, I wasn't in the room, but I'm assuming that it came down to Georgia and Alabama and who was going to get that last spot. And Alabama lost to the greatest team in college football to lose to. We did not as Georgia. We lost to USC, which says a lot, but we also have two big wins, two top 10 wins with Notre Dame and Florida. And even though Alabama's a great team, they really haven't had a real competition until LSU, and they didn't win. So I think that that says a lot.
So they definitely chose to value wins over losses and just look at that strength of schedule.
I think so.
So how big is this game against Georgia and Auburn this weekend?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. Georgia knows that the playoffs are within reach. They're within grasp. It's not out of the question anymore. But if they want to get into that playoff, they got to win out for the rest of this semester, for the rest of the year. And unfortunately, they've got some tough games, and Auburn does too. I think that Auburn's going to rain on somebody's parade. I don't know who, but they're going to ruin somebody's playoff bids because that's how college football works. But I think that this is a really tough game to kick off the rest of the season.
Well, the rankings come out every Tuesday, and I definitely think there's going to be a shakeup before the end of the season.
I hope so. It keeps it interesting.
Thank you so much for joining me, Kat.
Thank you for having me.
It may be prime time to debate about the NCAA, but there's an added layer of speculation this year with new rulings on image and likeness. Kevin Butler, former UGA and NFL place kicker, says if people are concerned about bringing tension in the locker room, they don't know football. He spoke with sports reporter Kat Hendrick about the issue.
I'm Kat Hendrick, and I've got all of your weather updates for the rest of the week, and even if you're going to the Auburn game this weekend, coming up.
Hi, I'm Peter, and there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in! Help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. Yeah, I was pissed. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again. But how about I throw and you run and get it?
Attention travelers, next Tuesday a major power outage will cause complete chaos throughout the city. Food, water, and phone service will be in short supply. There will likely be panic citywide. Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
And now, the weather.
Welcome back to Grady Newsource. I'm Kat Hendrick with all of the weather updates that you need for today, tomorrow, the rest of the week, and even if you're traveling to Auburn for the game. Starting out with today's forecast, we've got a low of 46 tonight. It's going to be cloudy, it's going to be rainy, and there's an 80% chance of precipitation. So make sure you don't leave that sunroof on in your car. There's going to be a little bit of wind, but it shouldn't be too bad. As for your evening planner, if you were planning a nice stroll, maybe save that for next week. Tonight, it's going to be a good movie night. 6 p.m., we've got 44, and it's going to drop down to about 41 throughout the night. So not too bad, but not dry. Looking at the rest of Northeast Georgia, we've got 30s pretty much across the board, 40 good for them, Toccoa. Augusta's got 43, and other than that, it's going to be pretty chilly. For tomorrow's forecast, we have a high of 39. It's going to be cloudy and a 40% chance of showers throughout the day. It's going to dip down at about noon, so you shouldn't have too much to worry about for a few hours in the afternoon. A little bit of wind again, but nothing too crazy. And then tomorrow during the day, we got 60, 40, going up to 50, and then in the afternoon, it should clear up a little bit. Then at the rest of Northeast Georgia, Pretty much 50s across the board. Going to be chilly. It's going to be rainy on this half, and it should get dry again in the afternoon over there. Looking at our 5-day forecast, we've got 50s and 30s pretty much throughout the board. Sunday, it's going to warm up a little bit. Wednesday, it'll be pretty nice in terms of the rest of the week. And then if you happen to be traveling over to Auburn, Alabama for the big game to see if Georgia's going to maintain that spot, that 4th spot in the playoffs, we've got 59 right at 3:30, right at kickoffs. It's going to get a high of 61 and a low of 37, but you'll at least get out of the rain. It won't be raining in Alabama. So nice day for some football. I'm Kat Hendrick. If you can tune in to Grady Newsource for more information.
Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Is the seat supposed to be forward-facing or rear-facing? Did they move to a booster seat too soon? It may be too late to check when you're on the road. Fortunately, you're on the couch. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Don't think you know. Know you know.
I'm a single mother, and I was the main one working, so I never thought that I could go back to school, you know? My sister, my mother, everybody wanted to help me with my kids. I could not have gotten my diploma without my family.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90-mile-per-hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
Thank you for watching Grady Newsource. I'm Katie Kim. Good night.
A student production of the Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of Georgia, which is solely responsible for its contents. Views expressed do not represent those of the administration nor the Board of Regents at the University System of Georgia.
What to expect when you're expecting
Like here.
a teenager.
Today, I'm going to show you how to team-proof your home. First step, hide the car keys, preferably somewhere they would never look. Challenges will come up. Be ready for them. Hi, honey.
I'm ready for the... Mom, you don't use mannequins in the mannequin challenge.
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Did you hear about the pony with a sore throat? He was a little horse. Can I tell you a cat joke? Just kidding. Why couldn't the why was the basketball court all wet? Why? Because the players kept dribbling all over it. Where the cats go on vacation? New York.
Did
Did you know parking over tall, dry grass can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
All right, welcome to the post-show critique for November 14th. I thought the show went really good today. It was pretty ambitious. Isaiah set us up pretty good, meaty A block, but I think it was handled really well. And we had a little bit of a mess up with a TriCaster. It glitched out a little bit, but we recovered quickly. Will you?
Hey, I'm here now. So I only wrote down like a few things. There was supposed to be a VO at the beginning, but like I went until about to like 4:47 and I couldn't find it. And at that point I was like, we're not gonna do it. I didn't want to mess up anything else. I noticed that like a lot of the packages were just like up and down a lot. I don't know if y'all know how to like highlight all and set the gain, but that's a thing. Besides that, the headroom for you guys was a little off on the 2-shot and on Katie's a little bit. Sorry about that. I was trying to like rush and figure out OTSs just because I was learning too today. But those will be fixed next time we do them for sure. The 2-shot with Eric. Sorry we didn't get you in the 2-shot. We just had a little malfunction up there. I tried to like fix it really fast, but I just wasn't fast enough. But that one's on us. Let me see what else. I think next time, Tyler, whenever we do OTSs, try and mark them in can when to come in and when to come out. I didn't notice till after we missed the first one that they weren't marked, but then after that we told you and you told us throughout, which was fine, but I think we just need to be aware of that going into it. Yeah, I think that was it. There was like a weird thing with sports with the VO thing. I don't know. That thing, it was dropped in the wrong folder, but also somebody should have asked you like where it was. I don't know if somebody did or not, but
That was on me.
okay.
I dropped it in the wrong folder, but I also dropped it at 11 a.m.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah.
I should have checked.
Totally fine. Both sides. One of us should have been like, it says there's a sod. Where is it? Or something like that. But it's fine. I'll look into it. But yeah, that's it. And now back to you guys.
Could we hear from Josiah? Because I thought he did kind of a good job, and I'd like to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, you did good.
I've directed a few times before, but this is the hardest show that I've done. But I feel like it went overall pretty well. But
Well, I appreciate you trying. Thank you.
Thanks.
May I steal your mic? Thank you, guys. So what I love about our production volunteers is that they're always game for anything. And in fact, if you don't push them a little bit, they'll come whining to me that you're not pushing them and they want something harder. Oh, they're listening to you because, by the way, I don't know if I told you this, but you are being broadcast over charter cable. So what you say is, is out there, living loud and live. So let me introduce you to Jean Kirkconnell and Shakira Speaks. Jean is the news director at WRBL, Channel 3 in Columbus, Georgia. And Shakira Speaks works there. Shakira graduated in May of 2018. She has the sports media certificate. She was in Newsource. She somehow managed sports and covered the General Assembly, and actually is one of the last news sourcers who actually said, hey, get out of my way. I'm going to go cover the Georgia General Assembly. I need to see what these lawmakers are doing and tell everybody about it. And she would, on the daily, get her live shots. She would write her scripts. She would send them for approval. She would edit, I don't know, sitting on the floor of the Rotunda or something in Atlanta. I don't want to know. Send the package through transfer and then go live. And this is something that, reporters in Atlanta were doing. And she was doing it as a Grady Newsourcer. So I would just listen to what they have to say today because, unlike me, they don't have a dog in the fight. So I'm going to let them do the critique. And then we will hear, from the rest of you. Here, he's mic'd, you're mic'd. Everything's good. I'm going to get out of your way. Oh, you've got one. Never mind. I want you to have two.
Okay. All right. So overall, good show. What is your name?
I'm Tyler.
Tyler. Okay. You produce, correct?
Yes, I produce.
Okay. I like what you did. Normally, I try to do that on the weekends. Is do a lot of crazy stuff to where my director hates me. Thank you, Sam. Moving around and everything. I do like the OTSs. However, they came in a little late. So like he said, just make sure that you script it to where it needs to come in. I also like the fact that you had the anchor sitting at the desk, but I wish that you would have moved, the reporting at the desk, I wish that you would have moved them around a little bit, because it caused you to turn when the camera wasn't ready for you to turn or whatever. All right, so Francisco, your Kanye West package, it was good. However, hold on, I wrote it down because Cantrell told me to put it on my phone and then it wasn't working. The tracking, your voice was like you were scared, but I could have sworn that you said that you were a Kanye West fan. Is that right? Okay, don't be scared. Talk to me like you're talking to Cantrell, like you're talking to Kat, like you're talking to Katie. Just talk into the mic. You're gonna have to learn how to project because it sounded like you were really scared. And then it showed that you didn't have a lot of B-roll. So when you don't have a lot of B-roll, you gotta make some B-roll. Just show, put a lot of nap pops in there. You went to the church service, but I only saw maybe 2 videos of you at the at the church service. You could have did a stand up with you, like with the camera or something, showing you dancing to the music or something like that. Overall, package was good. The IG story, who had the IG story? You did. Really great story. I would like to see a little bit more B-roll of the people that you're talking to, because it just showed like Instagram clips and then it was the interview. Then it was Instagram clips, then it was a whole new person. Like show somebody sitting on their phone on Instagram or something. Not just an overhead, but show like their face. That way I know that you're introducing them to the story. Dane had a white wall next to him. So it was like his desk area and then the white wall. Like you could have moved him over to where his background was more, a little darker than what the white wall was. I don't know if you told them about the white man, white wall. Don't put a white man on a white wall. Don't put a black man on a white wall. Find something with some character to it and put him, because it makes him look a little washed out. Okay, the anchor. You turned a little too early, and I understand what you were doing. You were anticipating, but they should be telling you in your ear, like, okay, you turn to the person next to you or whatever. The Disney Plus story. Say your name again. Eric. Okay. Loved your stand-up. I liked how you did that. You had really good graphics. I would like to see a little bit more B-roll of the sauce, just like I told, what is your name? Caroline. Okay, so good story. I loved how you put it together. Katie. So what I have learned from Hazinski, from Cantrell, from Jean, when you're reading a story and you're about to change to the story, break eye contact. Look down. Tyler, you could have had her move and had an OTS to camera 2 or camera 3 or something like that. That way it's just not Disney Plus is so and so and so and so and so and so, and then you paused and then you started a new story. But it's like it looked like you didn't know what you were saying next. So break eye contact, look down, look back up. You know what I'm saying? Or camera movement or something like that. That would have been good. Your voice tracking was really good in your story. It was really low though. You had nice nap pops, which was really good in you had the dog story, correct? Really good. You had a really nice graphic. You wrote to your video well, so I know you're listening to Cantrell. I love the soundbite that he was sexing, he knows it. That's what really caught my attention. You had a nice flow. Overall, your anchoring, your breathing was really well. Alex, girl, take that scarf off when you get on camera. Unless you are out live somewhere and it's really cold, okay, then wear this, but tone it down a little bit. But if you're sitting on the desk, don't wear the scarf, okay? I understand. I love it, though. Okay, but I really was hoping to see your package, but your audio wasn't connected.
I redropped it because I submitted it with the wrong format. And then whenever I did it off my computer, and then I had the voice, but it wasn't linked.
So this is why they have you guys do it at 4:30. See, in normal newsrooms, there's not a deadline. As long as you hit before your slot time, it's in. But you always want to make sure you have enough time to go back and replay it. Go back and, did y'all learn how to normalize all peaks, the gains and everything? Okay, but y'all didn't do it in none of y'all's packages.
I did it with 2 of them. I know yours and somebody else.
Yours sounded good, but there was another one that was like really low tracking, and you were talking too slow. But yours if you would have went back and listened to it, you'd have been like, there's no audio there. And I was hoping, I was like, okay, this is a really long VO. Okay, she's hitting to a SOT, and I still haven't heard from her. But then I realized that your audio wasn't there. I was really hoping to see your package. So now you got to put it online so I can go and watch it. Okay, so audio, check the audio, sustainability. Who had that story? Okay, I would have loved to hear the nap pop when you said that Greta was, I would have loved to hear like a little 2 or 3 second clip of her speaking. That would have been great because you did good. You started out and then you had a nap pop. And then you said Greta so-and-so and she's doing action. That would have been great to put a nap pop there. But you did have really good nap pop. You didn't need a lower third for your stand-up. You didn't because it's your story. I didn't get to see what you were throwing in the trash can because you had the lower third there. Now, Cantrell might tell you something different, but I didn't. I mean, it was your story. If you tag out, I mean, you know. But you had a nice.
Because the lower third interfered with the primary purpose of the stand-up.
Yes, because I couldn't see. I was like, okay, the camera went down and then went back up, but you had a lower third there. I understand why you did it, but it was like, okay, what did she? Yeah, nice rack focus, loved it. But in somebody's video, it went blurry. Can't remember. I think it was a sustainability.
Instagram.
Was it Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, watch that because you had just random B-roll in there and then it went blurry. So just go back and make sure that you watch that. Weather. Okay. Kat, I know we talked about not just saying random stuff, right?
You said don't tell people to wear a jacket.
Don't tell people to leave their sunroof open. That's what happens when you start rambling. That's what I learned. Once you start rambling, you just start saying crazy stuff. You said, leave the sunroof on.
I know, we said we were joking.
So when you start rambling, you just start saying random things. And that's what I learned, like, okay, just get to the next thing. If you can't fill 3 minutes, you can't fill 3 minutes. Normally, you will not have to do 3-minute weather.
Yeah, we talked about that after we filmed the 3 minutes because you were like, this is 1 minute worth of weather.
Right, and he was going back and forth with his time anyway. If anything, he could have added another story. So once you start just rambling, you just start saying things. You said something like over there, and people are gonna be like, well, over where? Yeah. What are you talking about? You also said, I said that's what happens when you ramble. And then also you look down at the monitor while you were doing your weather. You know what you look like. Don't look down. Turn it off if you can. I had to turn it off when I was doing weather too. Other than that, I liked the show. I liked what you were doing, Tyler. It was timed well. I would say I would leave at least a 10 or 20 second cushion. That way you're not adding stuff and taking stuff out. Now you're over 7 seconds. Now you're trying to figure out what you can do. You know what I'm saying? So just leave like a little 20 second cushion because somebody is going to give you a 140 package and it's not supposed to be that long. You know what I'm saying? Overall, y'all did really well. I didn't see your story. Well, okay. That's it.
Yeah, I'll pick it up where Shakira left it off in terms of overall really, really strong effort, guys. I was impressed. Good job. Tyler, I understand this is a little bit different in terms of blocking and the kinds of stories you do and the way you formatted the shots and everything. You took some risks, so I applaud that. It came off smoothly. You got people on. You had lucid, engaging conversations between the anchor and the reporter. So good job in terms of trying something new. I understand you're only your second newscast, right? So you want to be pushing yourself. You want to be pushing the envelope. And with that, you bring everybody else along for the ride, and you encourage them to grow as well. So bravery, man, good stuff. So good job. To the crew in the booth there, y'all are listening in here. I wanted to give y'all some props. I noticed really from your perspective, really, and through them on out to the floor, what I noticed in the booth was solid communication, which is the key to the success of that show. I noticed a level of just calm throughout the whole broadcast, no matter what happened. Was it, the fact that the audio wasn't there? There was a momentary discussion. There was an agreement about where we're going next. There was a decision by you. Here's what we're going to do. That was handed down. The director, the technical director, then made it happen for you. So, that does not always happen in student broadcasts. It sometimes doesn't happen in professional broadcasts. Something goes off the rails and people come unglued. And that's not a recipe for success for anybody. So the fact that you all saw a problem, you were calm about it, you were deliberate, you clearly communicated, here's what we're going to do next, and then everybody made it happen. That is really awesome, guys. in the post-show meeting, I want to applaud the directors for the way they handled the post-show meeting. You guys were specific about what happened in the show in terms of things being good, things being challenging. Folks who discussed those hiccups that you might have had took ownership. And then specific to the directors, there were solutions offered. The solution about normalizing the audio levels. So there was no accusatory nature to anything. It was like, this stuff happens, here's what probably happened. There was a complete transparency about some road bumps we might have hit, and then so looking forward next time, everybody agrees and saw what just happened, so next time let's try to do A, B, and C so that we don't hit the same pothole again next time. I can tell you that doesn't happen in some professional production post-show meetings or newsrooms as well. There's sometimes there's territory there. There's a certain level of embarrassment. There's there's this fear or paranoia, like, well, if I make one mistake, I could get fired. And so the discussion, or the willingness to have a transparent discussion after a newscast, and there's no secret. Everybody saw what happened, right? So let's just say, okay, let's all just admit that happened. Now, what do we do next time? That's an extremely healthy approach to mastering your craft, learning, sharing, and making it even better in round 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So I commend you for that. And I wish I would be able to say something different, but when you get into professional newsrooms, do not be surprised if the same healthy level of candid discussion does not take place in the post-show meetings, okay? So carry that spirit of generosity, but transparency into the discussion. And my advice to you would be, in here and going forward, as long as you're consistent and you deliver the recap, the critique, and the solutions in the manner which they were delivered today, what you will find over time, it could be next semester in here when you get some new people in and they're maybe a little bit more anxious and timid, as long as they see, okay, that is a safe space where I can take ownership for the stumble that I just had, and I know my head's not going to get taken off. That'll win you fans here and when you go out into the real world. So I really commend that. Awesome, awesome stuff. Preparation, there was a high level of preparation. I could see evidence of it in the room. People were checking with each other before the show. They were communicating changes. There was an anticipation of how things might go a different way. And so if they do, here's what we're going to do. I applaud that. Awesome work, awesome communication. You specifically, I saw you prepping scripts. I heard you repping scripts over and over and over again. And so it is not unlike a sporting event, right? If you don't practice and you show up to a game, you're going to get clobbered, right? But if you practice before you head out to the field to perform, then when you get out there, you're going to be successful. And today you were successful. This is only your second time anchoring, right? Yeah, good job, Clean, crisp, to the point, straightforward. Sometimes you see beginners or people that are new to a certain thing, and when you're watching them, you know they're nervous, and because of them demonstrating that, they're making you nervous. At no point today during this broadcast, in my observation of preparation, execution, in the booth, on the screen, in the studio, or in the post-show, did I see evidence of someone just being completely out of their element and taking the rest of everybody down in an anxious spiral, okay? It's not there. You guys are pros, you're doing what you're doing, and there's a recognition of, here's where we are, let's go here a little bit higher. So good, excellent preparation, So toward specifically on-camera performance for everyone who appeared on camera today, and then tangentially anybody who would be preparing behind the scenes and executing behind the scenes in the control room, I would use the phrase expand your envelope, okay? And so what I mean by that, and I'll center my comments first on-camera performance. This is evident in like your voice tracking of your package. This would be sort of a set of tools for any one of you who tracked a package or appeared on camera today. You do not really know where this far side of your envelope of capability is until you go there. All right? Now let's assume this is greatness, and let's assume this is crash and burn. Okay? You may not have experienced crash and burn, and I'm not saying you have to intentionally screw something up to experience crash and burn. What I would instead ask you to do is, in your preparation beforehand, same goes for y'all as you're tracking packages or you're preparing to do a weather segment or a sports segment, do any of you really know yet? And you haven't had a lot of reps, so the answer is probably no, and that's okay. But consider where the far edge of my comfort zone and capability are in terms of my on-camera presence, delivery, and confidence. And some of that starts with, honestly, intentionally, going too far. Some of those tracks had a low level of delivery in terms of just the audio level, the energy, the phrasing, the punching of certain phrases, either live, right, or if they were pre-recorded. So what I would say to you is, after today's experience and in your future packages in preparation for anchoring, I would, like you did, which I commended earlier and I do again, take those scripts and I would almost push yourself in terms of delivery and sometimes audio, volume level and expressiveness to an almost cartoonish level, intentionally. You're in a safe space realizing this is not for real. I'm not on camera yet, but I don't actually know how far toward that my instrument will take me. So I've got to understand how much runway I have. So I'm going to intentionally push myself too loud, too expressive, too demonstrative, and do that by yourself for a while in the mirror until you get a certain comfort level, and then bring a couple of buddies in and say, okay, here's kind of where I was here, and I think I might actually be able to push it over here. Is that too far to you? And a gut check from some people that have been in the class for 5 or 6 weeks would tell you if you're going too far. Is what I'm saying making sense, and am I explaining it in a way that is kind of cutting through, and do y'all get what I'm saying? Okay. And really it's just, like I said, it's you're not having enough reps yet. You don't know what kind of gas you have in the tank. So turn the afterburners on and burn some fuel out on the scary part of the envelope, so you'll know, wow, if I need to, I can go all the way over there, So I would encourage you to do that, especially in terms of your presentation. You did a little bit of it today by pushing everybody with new formats and blocking and choreography. So again, I commend that. And that kind of fits behind the scenes into this area that I'm trying to stress here. I want to say a couple of specific things about package structure, okay? And I don't know, because of the way you guys might block some pitches to packages from live shots and some takebacks or to packages from packages to live shots. I don't know if you've been instructed, and so I don't want to step on any toes or anything, but and this is a personal thing to a certain extent. I do not like packages that begin with sound bites. Okay? If you're gonna, when I coach these guys, Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about it. Tell me a little bit.
So really, it's just so that when they're on live shots,
yeah.
It's so that they start with nat sound pops.
Gotcha.
It's not supposed to be long sound bites.
And typically when,
it's just give me a little nat sound, give me that sense of place.
That's where I thought it was coming from.
It becomes a sound bite.
Yeah.
But it's fine in the runway.
Gotcha. And also it provides a nice clean break between the audio of the live shot to the audio of the package. So you've got, especially, and technically for the audio operator, if they've preset the audio board for the package level, then they're getting in clean technically to the next element of the newscast. You're not overmodulated. So that's why I mentioned the live shots. That's where I thought it was coming from. In general, and again, this is a subjective personal thing, I would love to see a nat sound burst off the top of a package motivated by a sequence of video instead of a sound bite. Am I making you understand the difference between those two, right? So, but if you have a sound bite from someone, it's an exclusive interview, and the sound bite from the person on camera, the suspect says, yeah, I killed him, and if I had the chance, I'd kill him again. I want you to play that soundbite in the headlines. I want the anchors to read into it, and I want to hear it twice in your package, okay, including off the top of the package. But otherwise, again, personal preference, natural sound break underneath the video that it's hooked to start the package, which can also provide that clean and nice entry point and motivated, arresting, sort of captivating, peak for a viewer to suck them into the package, okay? So Dodie's instincts are correct and her address to you is correct. It's just a slightly different application of that thinking and strategy. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'll go back to the show itself. Okay, I don't know if, let's talk about the choreography and the blocking of the way you chose to set the show up today, and I want to offer an idea for consideration. During the show, the way that we sequenced into the lead visually for each package is we had the OTS there available to support us graphically, and we would pan into the OTS, okay? On this switcher or the way the virtual set is set up, if you notice the background, there's a little bit of drift in the background when you're panning. So it looks like we're panning the camera, and it looks like you're actually physically scooting your chair over at the same time. It's an optical illusion, it's a little tiny thing, But so how might we consider using the graphics, which are cool, but getting into them and getting out of them, blocking and camera choreography in a different way?
Just like having it set up to where the second shot she looks over and the OTS is already there.
Correct. So it's a take, right? So you got 3 cameras. So the way we formatted many of our newscasts is each anchor has is assigned a primary camera. So if you sit in that chair, your camera 2. If you sit in that chair, your camera 3. And then the 2-shot is camera 1, straight ahead, right? So over time, if the shows are formatted the same way, then well, if it's a 2-shot, it's always going to be on 1. That camera has to move less. The camera operator and the floor director have to do less in the studio, right? Okay, and then as a default, every like y'all did it, great. Every intro has an OTS. Every tag is a medium close-up with no OTS. So if you're a single anchor show, then that's not the director panning the OTS in and out. Instead, it's the camera turns for the anchor, right? So I'm always intro from my primary camera. There's an OTS there, right? In this case, I would then, as she pointed out to you, an eye connection break with the camera. So it's dip and turn, right? So I'm reading my intro, I have the OTS over my shoulder, and next we've got this 2-shot right here, blah, blah. So it's a little tiny thing, but doing this, you break eye contact with the viewer, and they blink, and then boom, we're on the next shot, and you're back up and addressing the viewer.
If you're not just looking at the same, area. I forgot what Hazinski called it, but you've got this blank stare.
Stare.
Yep. So if you just break and turn, even if you stay on the same camera, if you just look down and look back up, even in the middle of a story, it's fine, just to make sure, just to keep people engaged. Like, okay, she's looking down. She's not. Y'all can hear me. She's, it looks a lot better. So, but you did good. I don't want you to think.
No. This isn't a you thing.
But that's just if you're thinking about it, like he said, if you're going to talk to, as an anchor, you also have to talk to your producer as well, because he's also directing essentially. And just be like, hey, I think this would look good if we did it like this.
Yeah, and so along those lines with the formatting is, and it's not like you never break the rules, but so in our newsroom, what I say is learn the rules, master the rules, break the rules. So if by default, the primary anchor cam is always the OTS, the center cam on the set is always the 2-shot, and the other camera is always say in a single anchor show with nobody on set with you, is always the MCU, tag shot, then in the absence of trying something new and different, then it's always going to be the same. So directors, technical directors, producers, talent, floor, everybody's on the same page, right? So you go into a show and you can even, I don't know, what software do y'all use?
Right now we're using something that was written by another professor called Cam. We're going to Rundown Creative.
Okay, cool. So if you've got templates, you can build a template like you have here, lead, package, tag, and in your template, all of the commands can already...
That's our show.
Okay, yeah. All of the